Hey guys, it's Phylum, welcome back. Today I'm talking about Quake Champions. It's been almost a year since my last video about Quake Champions, and so I thought it was a good time to come in. A lot has happened since then. The closed beta is actually out, so there are loads of people now with their hands on the game, but there's an NDA in effect. We're not allowed to talk about what's in the beta. People in the beta aren't allowed to take any video and post it anywhere. And actually, if you're in the beta, you're not allowed to say if you're in the beta or not. So it's a fairly heavy NDA. So I'm just going to steer clear of all things beta for now. And I'm going to talk about a common thing I see that comes up a lot, which is people saying that Quake is ruined because of these champions, that the game's turning into Overwatch or Team Fortress 2. Today I'm going to talk about why that's wrong. The key thing that separates Quake Champions from a class-based game like Overwatch or Team Fortress 2 to me is that all the characters can get all the guns, and Tim Willits has emphasized this in so many interviews, and for good reason. Quake's a game all about getting frags, about getting kills, and about combat. You need guns to get kills, you need guns to fight. Guns are the language of Quake, and the fact that every character can have every gun means that all these characters are going to have the same kind of base versatility. If you have a railgun, you have an answer to the player trying to fight you from a long distance. If you have a rocket launcher, you have an answer to the guy trying to get up in your face. If you have a lightning gun, you can fight, in all these kind of different situations. And the abilities that these characters have seem supplemental to that, rather than kind of dominating the ebb and flow. There is an exception to this, but I'll get to that later. The main thing is that these abilities aren't disables like in Overwatch, they all let you do something. So in a game like Team Fortress or Overwatch, if you're playing the Medic or Mercy, there's only one kind of thing you're going to be able to do in those games. But compared to Quake Champions, the heroes look a lot more versatile, right? Because you've got these guns. If you take a hero like, a champion like Scalebearer, he's big, he's slow, he's tanky, but I can see two really distinct ways that you could approach him. You could play defensively, you could tank up and kind of, make sure you're staying alive, support your teammates in fights, but ultimately be this big tanky character who can, do massive quad runs and stuff. Or you could play it differently. You could abuse the fact that he has a higher starting spawn to be really, really aggressive and look for lots of frags with his aggressive ability, and really pick off, especially if there are weaker players on the other team. And realistically, I think a good player is going to take both of those approaches in any given game depending on what the context needs. Also looking at Anarchy, he's fast, he's easy to kill, but he has an ability that lets himself heal back up to full and actually increase his total health pool as the game progresses. You could use this to pick lots of fights, and I think this is the way we're going to see Anarchy played a lot. Very aggressive, looking for lots of kind of engagements that he walks away very, very weak from, but can just heal back up. It's okay, and he's ready to fight again. Another way you could look at that, though, he could use his speed to focus more on playing these items, more on holding really, really sick positions, and just building his health pool throughout the game, getting stronger and stronger. A much more defensive approach. The exception to these abilities that I mentioned before, so far is Clutch. He's big, he's heavy, he's got this shield that blocks damage, and I'm not sure how that's going to fit into Quake combat. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's that Quake is all about fighting, it's all about guns, so having a shield, it just seems disruptive. So I'm not sure about Clutch, but really we've just got to wait and see what kind of impact he's going to have on the game. So all of these Quake champions have one active ability and a passive ability. Compared to a game like Overwatch, where you'd have several abilities per character. From the video footage we've seen of Quake Champions, these cooldowns can be like 30 seconds. Again, much, much higher than in a game like Overwatch. And even more, they've kind of Quakeified the concept of these cooldowns and these abilities by having items around the map that reduce the cooldown of your ability. We've seen these little egg timer things. So kind of like going around and picking up health and picking up armors, now we're going to be able to have pickups that reduce our cooldowns as well. So not only are you going to be seeing less abilities, but these abilities are also going to have a much lower impact on the game. A really big thing that I noticed playing Overwatch is how many disable-based abilities are in the game, compared to Quake Champions, where more abilities seem to be more about letting you do something. So disables in Overwatch, right? You've got Zarya's Graviton, you've got Reinhardt's Earth Shatter, the whole character of Mei, you've got this freezing, you've got these ice walls, and you've got Ana's Sleep Dart can have a huge impact. In Quake Champions, you've got characters like Anarchy, he heals himself up. That's it only affects himself. Slash leaves this trail behind her, it's like an attacking thing, it's something that she's doing that can damage people around her. Ranger throws an orb, it allows him to teleport. Visor has a wall hack, which just gives him info. Sorlag. One worry is Nyx. Nyx has this ability to turn invincible and invisible and get out of situations really easily, and I think that's cool. I think that's going to be a really fun thing to play around with. The problem is that when it ends, when you turn back to being visible, if you're inside of someone, you telefrag them, you instantly kill them. And instant death isn't fun. So just a quick note on impact. Getting a free kill in Quake isn't actually a huge deal in a team mode. In duel it's a bit of a different kettle of fish, but I'm going to talk about duel next video. So one interesting thing I think they could do with Nyx, rather than just having you instantly kill someone if you decloak inside of them, maybe you should just pop them up into the air instead. Pop-ups in Quake are exciting. They're a death sentence. You know, if you're up in the air, you're a sitting duck waiting to have a rocket or some really strong LG just absolutely annihilate you. But pops are exciting. Hitting mid-air rockets is exciting, and it's fun. I think the key thing for these abilities is they have to be fun, they have to be interesting, and a lot of these so far seem to be, you know. They supplement your gameplay, they supplement your fighting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I can use these in my game. Okay, so every character can have every gun, there are no fixed roles, and the abilities have lower impact than Overwatch. I think that's pretty well busted. Thank you guys for watching. As soon as the NDA drops, I'm gonna have all kinds of Quake Champions content here, so make sure to subscribe, keep your eye on this channel. Also subscribe to Zai, the Rocket Jump Ninja. I've linked his channel somewhere on the screen. He's another Australian Quake player, he does really great stuff. He's excited to make Quake Champions content as well. This is just an exciting time to be a Quake player, so let's keep the good times rolling. Let's all be positive and excited about this new game, at least until we can get our hands on it and talk about it. And I'll see you all very, very soon, I hope, for a video where I'm going to talk about duel. Thank you for watching.